Angry guy here, and black men and white men are warning each other about their women. Just a quick shout out to my channel members, Earhead USMC, Leonidas, and Derek Marie. Thank you guys for your support. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel. If you already haven't, liking the video and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Black men and white men are warning each other about their women. So I had a video that I made where it started to blow up, and it happened as a result of this comment that I received. And I featured it in the video, and a lot of things have happened since I published the video. So the comment is from a white guy who said that I had a brief glimmer of hope to be a Chad or a Tyrone. This is a white man, but as I've said, not all Chads are white and not all Tyrones are black. So he had the opportunity to be either one, so either a handsome guy or a thug. But he said I was 17 and he was in wrestling and varsity in high school. He later then he dated a Japanese woman. He joined the Marines, and then after that he struggled because the only women he could attract were women who had kids, and they knew that he would get paid on the 15th of the month and the 1st of the month. And now he's 38 years old, and the only women that'll even talk to him are women who have kids, and he cannot get a woman without kids. And he says that I just work on my mobile home, I cook good food, and drink beer when I drink. And he said that crazy women are fun for a brief time, but I enjoy my peace. I cannot speak on black women. I've never dated one. But then he said something very interesting. He says, all I ever dated or married was Asians or white women. Black men want white women, and I laugh because white women are entitled and it's bad. So enjoy that. And that really caught a lot of black guys off guard. That was a warning. He says, I don't really entertain a black woman because I heard the attitude is bad. I would date a black woman, but it's never happened. I'm more focused on Asian women or Hispanic women. But if I can't get that, I'm perfectly happy single and at peace. And this is a white guy warning black men that, hey, if you want to mess around, you're going to find out. Now, a lot actually happened after I published the video. You see, there were a ton of comments from black guys and white guys equally. And I was literally amazed by this. So we're going to jump into this because what ended up happening is you ended up with both black men and white men now coming together and collectively sharing notes and warning one another regarding what's happened and what's happening. And I find this absolutely amazing. So here's the original video. White men are warning black men about white women. But if you look at this, you'll see some of the comments. Well, the top comment is from MK Fitness, who co-hosts my Angry Guy podcast. If you have money, it doesn't matter what race you are a target. Okay. And then, of course, there was Keith, keep on preaching. But however, look at some of the other comments. Black men are warning white men as well. This is from a white guy. I learned a lot from Black Ram 3-13 and Coach Greg Adams. Free agent lifestyle for life. So this is black men and white men are now trading notes. And I know Black Ram 313 very well because he was here in the Manosphere at least as long as I am, I believe. He goes way back, so I know Black Ram very, very well. And then Coach Greg Adams, he came around quite a bit after me, but he's really blown up. Now, and then of course we have Airhead. He says, you brought me up and I was honest. Now I'm a subscriber. Thank you for bringing up my topic of discussion. I speak from my experiences and my heart. And you're the first person I subscribed to on YouTube. You deserve it. You hit all the key notes, what's happening right now in America. Now, if we keep on going, There's some very, very interesting things. It's very, very interesting comments. Mayumi, our favorite physician and resident troll, everyone steer clear of Western women, period. If you value your sanity, run for the border. And here's a comment. Let's see here. As a black man living in the 21st century, you get the game spoon fed to you since birth. We've known this, and I just treat them just like I treat black women. White women had how many young boys deleted back in separate during the separatist era? Guys, I want to tell you something regarding this. I want you to think about this very, very carefully, because I've said this for years, that the source of all this division between men, going back hundreds of years, it all came from women. It 100% came from women. Even when you look at some of the old movies that depict, back when blacks were in servitude, and there were acts of abuse towards black men, don't you ever notice that a lot of the time those events occurred when there was a woman involved? There's like always a woman at the center of it. Don't you ever notice that? And even after everything that happened, like we entered into the 19th and 20th century. And something interesting about that, you look at the case of, for example, Emmett Till. And people like to talk about Emmett Till and what happened to him. He was a young black boy who got deleted when he went down south for making a pass, evidently, at a Caucasian woman. Who would get out of their bed? We are men. Forget about the color of our skin. Think about this carefully. What man is going to get up out of his bed in the middle of the night to go mess around with some other man and jeopardize his future, possibly end up in jail, destroy his reputation? People are going to treat him differently and act differently towards him. Destroy the family name. For what? Open himself up to prosecution. For what? 99% of men aren't going to do this, because 99% of men just want their peace. The men who are doing these things are simps. Think about the logistics of this. What man is going to get out of his bed and disrupt his peace to go mess around with some other man who isn't bothering him over a woman? I don't care what year it is. I don't care if it is 1919 or 1920 or whatever year during the Crow era, okay? Or 2023. What man is getting out of his bed to go and disrupt his peace in the middle of the night over a woman? A simp. A simp. All of these things that have happened, there have been women at the center of them. Notice what it always comes back to: protecting the women. We have to protect our women. It always comes back to the women. And the women, it's the women. It's the women. Who drives division between men in Western society? Who's always driven division between men? Who's always played men against one another? The women. Think about it logically. And who are the ones who do these things? Who are the ones who carry out these heinous acts on behalf of the women? The simps. You've been going through this for thousands of years. How did the Roman Empire fall? The simps. Enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. This comment, angry guy, I'm from Africa here. You are right about the smell. They don't smell, and some just use soap and maybe a simple perfume. Women here are natural, no makeup. This content is making me appreciate our African women. I talked about the fact that after living overseas, like I can't do it anymore. Like after living overseas and dealing with foreign women, like I had an experience where I was sitting just one of many. where I was sitting next to a woman overseas, and you know, I could smell her, and there was this amazingly sweet smell coming off her. And so I get close to her and I smell her again. I smell her some more, and I'm like, "What are you wearing?" I say to her, "What are you wearing?" And she just responds, "Soap." And it just blew my mind. Blew my mind. She was not wearing lotion. She had not just stepped out of the shower. She had just taken a bath that day, and that was it. And something that people have, and the difference in how, and it's not just her, it's just like, it doesn't matter. It could be the rich wealthiest woman, it could be the poorest woman overseas, and they don't carry they almost don't have body odor. And one thing someone pointed out is that the diets are different, and this is true. This is absolutely true. The diets are very, very different overseas. They are completely different. They are completely different. And there's something interesting. So, for example, like, Chinese people who are Chinese definitely have body odor. They do. But they say that Japanese people and Korean people don't have body odor. And they say that it's because of a specific gene that they have, so they don't have body odor, and as a result, they don't have to wear deodorant. But I have a theory about that. I theorize that maybe that's not entirely the case, because I've dealt with people from other countries that for if Hispanic people, and a continuous theme that I get from a lot of Hispanic people is a lot of them. I know some of you are going to say like, "Oh, angry, come on, you're exaggerating now," but a lot of them don't have the body odor of American people. And it has to come down to a part of it is probably the diet. Someone pointed out, like, these people, they have a better diet than Americans in a lot of the countries. And when you look at it this way, you realize, holy cow, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. And if you look at the Japanese and you look at the Koreans, look at their diets. Their diets are 100% different than Americans. And you have to start to wonder, are you sure that the reason why you don't have body odor is because of a specific gene, or is it because of the diet that you're eating? Like I'm just like so serious about that. Okay. Hyra says we all go through the snow bunny phase. It's just a phase, but America brings out the worst in all races. The Rick says I understand what he's saying. An aggravated woman comes in all colors and races. And then Dem says, I think it's because foreign women take care of themselves for so long that they don't need too much to bathe too much and clean themselves to be clean and smell good. I understand what you guys, after dealing with foreign women, it's like I come back to Western society and people smell raw. I'm just like so serious. And I cannot stand the smell of heavy perfume anymore. It stinks to me. And it's just basically covering up something. It's like a raw. It's like raw mixed with perfume. It's like, bro, you don't smell great. You don't smell great at all. Let's keep on going. Here's the issue. If it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter black or white. It's the Western woman mindset, ways and uh actions. America is finished. It's over. Why do you think if you find a wife overseas, they tell you don't bring her back here? The monk says, if I had the choice between Candace Owens or a white American woman, I would pick Candace Owens if she wasn't already taken by her husband. I've mentioned this before, and this is something that does protrude me a bit, is the fact that when you look at African American women, they, above all other races of women, predominantly only marry and get into relationships with black men. And that's very, very strange. The rate that and they'll turn around and say, "Oh, that's because we're so loyal. We're so loyal to these men." But these are the same women that call these men dusties and say that they sent them away. They were unwanted. They're only getting into relations predominantly with Tyrones, Ray Rays, and Pookies, and of course, Little Poncho. So that tells you just how messed up the community is, and the impact that black women have had on the African American community, and the impact that women have in general on communities and societies. Much of the infighting, division between men, 99% of it is centered around women. 99% of it is centered around women. I'm being very honest with you. Like, most men don't want to mess with one another. Most men don't want the problems. They don't want the arguments. They don't want to. When even like cases where like, oh, we have to protect they're not protecting their houses. They're protecting the women. You have simps that are going crazy over the women. Like, oh, we have to protect our women from these people. Come on, come on. It's always been fighting over the women. Okay, and you have the black guys who are doing it, the white guys who are doing it, black simps, white simps. That's it. It's always the simps. It's always the simps because most men don't want to argue with one another. They just want their peace. Mm-mm. Thing says white guy here, previously married to black entitled U.S. woman for 7 years, divorced, went to Kenya and found a much more mature woman who supported me at my lowest. They are out there, just not in the U.S. cesspool. I did tell you guys about this, that you're gonna have a lot of white guys going over to Africa, and you're gonna see these guys like practically like we're in African like dressed like they're in African travel gear, like they're going out to hunt. And they have a bunch of black women behind, African women behind them, and that's gonna be their wives, right? And you're gonna and I told you it's gonna become an international competition where you're gonna have women all over the world fighting for men from Western society, and they're gonna be fighting hard for white men, white Western men, because you have to think about this: black men that are able to do the whole passport king thing, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. So the most valuable black men in America are leaving the United States, but there's just not a black men. Blacks only make up 13% of the American population. Think about that very carefully. That means that black men only make up roughly, you can average it at 7% of the American population. Y'all, 7%. Black men only make up 7% of the American population. That's a tiny number. And then a lot of that number is occupied by the Pookies, Ray Rays, and Tyrones. So all the men of value that are the black guys that have any value, they're leaving Western society. On a global scale, there's not enough of these men to go around. So demographically, the guys that women would be mostly fighting, that they'd have the best prospects of getting, that that are highly educated, have skill sets, that are going to be white guys from Western society. And you're going to have, I said this, you're going to have a lot of women in Africa, all the different countries, but you're going to have women in Africa. They're going to say things like, bring your beautiful white butt to Africa, because every white king needs an African queen. I said this, and I told y'all, when it happens, I want my credit, because I was the first to say it, that you're going to see you're going to see black African women, because I say black and then we mix it up with African American. You're going to see a bunch of African women, black African women, fighting hard to get Western white men, fighting, competing, calling them white kings, and telling them that they need an African queen. And I said, I want my credit, and y'all are gonna see. It is no joke. It is absolutely no joke. Okay. Let me see here. Let's read some more of these comments. There's not much difference between black women and white women when it comes to hypergamy. White women just have more access to more rich men. The thing is that you have a lot of black women who think that they can go out there and get any man that they want. Okay, and they say white men as well. I'm telling you, Becky ain't the treat y'all think. I feel bad for this poor man. This guy said, since I'm black, and who should I date nowadays? And I felt bad for him. And someone responded, better to chase your hobbies and passion. Too much headaches and worry to date in Western world. Plus you get baby trapped, and bam, there goes your future. Pursue hobbies, take yourself out for dinner, spend money on a lady of the night if that's what you need. Just don't get caught up with someone that's cool with ruining whoever lives lives necessary to merely better themselves. And poor guy says that, but I don't want to be single forever. And the guy responded, none of us truly want to mate. It's just the best option for us at the moment. Personally, I'd say be patient till you can plan a trip to South America, Laos, or some other place where finding a proper partner is miles easier than the minefield we exist in now. You see, like there you go. There you go. All right. Passport kings for the win. But if you can't do passport, if you can't passport king it, then you need to just it's better be bro, don't go out there and mess around. You don't want this. You don't want that stress in your life. One Stefan said soap, you know, and it's crazy. Oh wow. I said yes. I haven't been intimate with any woman other than foreign women in roughly 10 years now. It's a shocker that I didn't even realize. After being with foreign women who have superior hygiene, it's hard to go back. The poorest foreign woman often has better hygiene than the richest in Western society. And he responded, for the last 45 years, Jesus, I thought I was bad. I thought I was flexing on him. Nah, bro. Holy cow. Holy cow. He said, for the last 45 years, I've only been with Asian women. They don't smell. And since my diet is predominantly Asian and carnivore, I don't smell either. Guys, I'm 100% right. I am 100% right about my theory. I'm completely right about my theory. I know I'm validated. It's something. It's something. It has to be the diet, because I have noticed the same thing with foreign, with not just Asian women, but literally, like for example, like Chinese women. A lot of them don't have the best. Like if they, there's a lot of Chinese women who eat very poorly. Like they'll eat the standard American diet, and they do have body odor. I'm telling you, 100%. Okay, but then you have like the Korean and Japanese women who have like these special diets, and like specific diets where they eat very like lots of fish and very healthy, and they don't have body odor, they say. But I believe that it's a lot of it is the diet. 100% is the diet. If they're here in America and they eat our terrible food, they're gonna have body odor. And this guy, 45 years of living like this, and he said that since my diet is predominantly Asian and carnivore, I don't smell either. So it's definitely the diet. It's definitely the diet. Okay. And of course, there are people like complaining because they don't like it. Timothy says, we are black and foundational, not Africans. Okay. Okay. Whatever, bro. And the way you thought about brothers is how 94% of Americans think about us. That's why we get a bum rap, and it's a shame. And it's a shame, and a shame for America. Love your channel though. And I responded. I said, Password Bros are doing y'all a solid in restoring your reputation. I didn't know a lot about African Americans, growing up. I just, I grew up in New York, but I didn't know a lot about them. I didn't know a lot about their culture, but also I didn't know a lot about their hardships and the things that they passed through. I didn't know the things they were going through, especially with black women. I didn't know how poorly these men had been treated. I didn't know that their communities had been destroyed. I thought that they were all like this because of the way they were portrayed on television. But again, it's not right. I did not start learning about Africa, about black men and the differences until I entered into the manosphere, and I started discovering, more that it's not these men. It's the people in the community. It's the Tyrones, it's the Ray Rays, it's the Pookies, it's little Poncho who's been tormenting this community for decades. And this man is not even 46. This man is just 46 years old, and he already has grandkids. He already has grandkids, and his kids are approached. Some of his kids are approaching 30 years old. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. It's sad, but it's the reality. It's sad, and it's the reality. And I have comments from some guys who are literally just telling me, like, for example, guys, you need to be careful. Men have to watch themselves, because it's not just black guys, that have to watch out. It's also white guys that have to watch out with black women. There's this one comment, and let me see if I can grab this comment for you guys, share this comment with you. This is one comment right here. And this dude says, truthful, he said, truthful, it's not even about a man's skin color. I saw a white man go to jail for putting his hands on his black girlfriend or wife, but she added on things that I didn't see. She was telling the cops that he used the N word towards her or made a threat to delete her using a firearm. And maybe he said it in the restaurant. This happened in the parking lot as we pull up, and he put his hand on her in her jaw. We separated them, but staff must have seen it and called law enforcement. Gentlemen, just be careful who you date. If she disrespects you or cheated on you or lied on you, keep moving. And this coming from a black dude, literally saying what he saw happen to a white guy, you know, to a white guy. Like, yes, he was wrong, but this woman basically started telling the judge that it was telling the cops that things that did not even happen. You know, like this is how they will destroy your life. This is how they will come at you. They will come at you with this type of energy, and they have no, there's no sense of reason with these individuals, because it's all about getting even. It's all about getting even, and 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 men have to wake up to that. Men have to 100% wake up to it, that these women, they don't even like us. I've said this before. As men, women in Western society, at best they tolerate us. At best they tolerate us because they do not like us. Let's look at some of the comments on here, right? You know, white men are warning black men about white women. This one actually has 34 comments. So I usually post the links in the comment section in the community tab, and these are some crazy links. As a white man who has dealt and dated white women, yes, I'm warning and looking out for my fellow black kings. Please be careful, brothers. This is from a white guy. Please be careful, brothers. Do not become another Jonathan Majors. Another Jonathan Majors. Think about that very carefully. Everyone saw what happened to this decent man. Like I said, not all Karens are white and not all Keishas are black, but Karen and Keisha are the same person. Okay? And Jonathan Majors was dating a Keisha. That woman he was a white woman, but she was a 100% Keisha. She was for the streets. And look at where it put him. Look at his life. Look at how it destroyed it. This is a very decent dude. All right? She was the aggressor, and it destroyed his career. He lost everything. He lost 100% everything. And some dudes have to end up learning the hard way. They really do. Because they keep messing around, and then they find out. Fat Max says nothing good comes from interacting with the modern day femme fatale of any persuasion. It's really true. Todd says it ain't about race, it's about attitude. I wouldn't touch any of these Western individuals again. Now that I have settled in the developing world with a traditional woman who just happens to also be smoking hot and much younger. Guys, men are waking up and realizing that the juice is not worth the squeeze, and they're walking away. They're walking away. If you're enjoying this content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers in our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Black men and white men are warning each other about their women. What do you guys think about this? I want to know your thoughts, so let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.